I want to remind people that we got a piece out. Yesterday, we played a clip of Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is a White House advisor. And let's remind people what he said yesterday on television in reaction to Donald Trump being in a room full of senators and reiterating his claim that there were 3 to 4 million illegal votes for Hillary Clinton, and apparently many of which came from the state of New Hampshire.
From a member of the Federal Election Commission, Ellen Weintraub, who says, I call upon the president to immediately share New Hampshire voter fraud evidence so that his allegations may be investigated promptly. Do you have that evidence?
I've actually, having worked before on a campaign in New Hampshire, I can tell you that this issue of busing voters into New Hampshire is widely known by anyone who's worked in New Hampshire politics. It's very real. It's very serious. This morning on this show is not the venue for me to lay out all the evidence, but I can tell you this. Voter fraud is a serious problem in this country.
All right, so there you have it. Well, some enterprising reporter went up to New Hampshire, or called New Hampshire, and Ray Buckley, chair of the New Hampshire Democratic Party, said, for Mr. Miller to make up such an outrageous lie is unacceptable for anyone who works in the White House. Now, he's a Democrat, so of course he's going to deny the fact that they're busing in tens of thousands or thousands of people from Massachusetts to vote for the Democratic candidate.
Gotta leave Swampscott, man, to go vote.
And just remember, when they bust in these Democrats to vote for Maggie Hassan to be the senator, they did not pay them enough, and they ended up voting for John Sununu to be governor, and he is a Republican.
Explained that yesterday.
Yeah.
How that negotiation worked out.
Fergus Cullen said there is zero evidence to support it. It's preposterous, completely untrue, delusional. And it turns out Fergus Cullen is the former state Republican chair. The New Hampshire Secretary of State, William Gardner, did not return a call for comment, but has said that voter fraud is not rampant in the state. Deputy Secretary of State Dave Scanlon confirmed Monday to New Hampshire Public Radio that there is no evidence of busloads of out-of-staters coming to New Hampshire to vote. Less than 0.2% of voters did not present acceptable ID at the polls, Scanlon told New Hampshire Public Radio. On Friday, Cullen, who is the former Republican chair, offered $1,000 in a tweet to anyone who could provide any evidence of voters from Massachusetts busing to New Hampshire to vote. He said no one had claimed the prize because the evidence does not exist.
Well, he doesn't sound very trustworthy.
One veteran GOP operative, however, did note that buses have been used to bring voters to the polls from college campuses. They're not busing from Massachusetts. They're college students, and they're totally allowed to vote here, he said. Both parties do it, but the Dems do a better job than us at that, honestly.
Jesus Christ. That guy, Stephen Miller, is like really terrifying to look at. He looks like he's got genetic disorders, dude.
Buckley, this is the Democrat, said the Republicans were guilty of most of the recent large-scale voter fraud when Republicans jammed the phone of Democratic get-out-the-vote efforts in the 2002 Senate election. Republican John Sununu defeated Shaheen in that election, but the scandal resulted in jail time for a couple of operatives, and Republicans were ordered to pay the Democrats $125,000. And although Clinton and Hassan won, Chris Sununu, sorry, not John Sununu, was elected governor, and Republicans did well in the state legislative elections because, of course, that's the one thing about massholes. You can put them in a bus and drive them to New Hampshire, but if you don't ply them with free Sunday packy liquor, then they're just going to vote. They're going to split the ticket.
You never said anything about state legislative races, man.
That wasn't part of the fucking deal.
You gotta have money.
I know cross the border, go to Massachusetts, and then come over, take thousands on bus to not get paid extra for state senate votes. Maybe I care about fiscal discipline, man.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.